Today we are comparing some shots between the Instax SQ1 and the Polaroid Now. Of course, there are some noticeable differences between the two bodies, but I want to see the differences in results. They are both in the same price range, so I think it's a fair comparison. Shot both cameras full auto. There are just no functions on the SQ1, but on the Polaroid Now you have some exposure compensation. I tried that out before, but I didn't notice any big differences. So I drove around for a bit and shot some landscapes, and after that I wanted to know how they would look in some interior scenes. But let's get into it. Welcome to a new episode of Frames. So you already heard it, we're gonna test out the Polaroid versus the Instax, both square format. But first I'm gonna change these shoes because I don't wanna mess them up. So a pro tip, always keep an extra pair of shoes in the trunk of your car. So we got the Polaroid Now, which I've been using for a while, and you probably already have seen an episode about it. So the first difference is that the Polaroid shoots... What the fuck is this? Polaroid cartridges hold 8 shots and the Instax hold 10 shots. But I still have 3 shots left, so we can do a 10 by 10 comparison. But before we can do that, let's load up the Instax first. So this is by no means a scientific comparison between these two cameras, but I just want to take the same shot, see how the film reacts and what the differences are. Of course, the first frame is a black one. This is gonna be the first frame. First shot, very big differences. The Instax is more true to life, where the Polaroid has a weird pink color shift to it. Exposure-wise, they are pretty close. The Instax has a bit more contrast though. Polaroid spits it out very quicker than the Instax. Both cameras meted for the highlights in this scene, which makes them pretty much unusable. So let's see how these will compare when I try to take a close-up of a subject. It's not the most interesting subject, but good one to compare, I guess. I think it would also be nice to know if the viewfinder is more accurate on the Instax or on the Polaroid, or if there is no difference at all. What I do notice is that the viewfinder on the Polaroid is more clear than the Instax one. But that can also be me dirtying up this one and not this one. Take that how you want it. Okay, so something went wrong there. It might have been because the Polaroid had 3 frames already inside of the camera, which have been there for a couple of weeks, but I guess we'll never know. Both do a pretty good job with the viewfinder. I don't think that you will have any problems with framing. Only if you would go closer, but I don't think these cameras focus well on such a short distance. So we just shot those 3 frames. I've got a new pack of color I-type film, which is for cameras like these. And yeah, let's load it up. This is a typical Dutch landscape, I would say, and pretty impressed by how stunning it is. Why do I always have these struggles with unpacking things like this? Here are 8 wishes, use them wisely. I think it would be nice to have something in the foreground, so I'm gonna take one closer to the camera, not to the house. You get what I'm saying? Exposure-wise, both pretty much the same again. What I find is that Instax during cloudy days is way cooler than normal. The Polaroid leans a little bit more to the magenta pink hues. So I have been driving around for a while, couldn't find a spot. It was very gray and cloudy, but the sky cleared up a little bit, and then I came across this scene. So again, both cameras meet it for the sky, which makes the whole image just suck. If you know how to tackle this with these cameras, please let me know in the comments. Okay, this one isn't really a fair comparison. The Instax frame was still in the shadows, and when I pressed the shutter on the Polaroid, the sun just came out, which balanced out the scene better. I gotta open my car the old school way because my keys don't work. And I guess the sun just came out. Let's hope we can take some advantage of that. I guess shooting scenes with a sky in it isn't the best situation for these kinds of instant cameras, because you just can't set the exposure. But after these, I wanted to test out some interior shots with flash, see how it handles that. So, my conclusion. Both cameras really expose the same. They both meter for the highlights, so shooting landscapes can be very tricky. Definitely if the scene isn't balanced well. The Instax film is cooler, almost blue sometimes, with a lot of contrast, where the Polaroid film is a bit warmer with a tint of magenta. It also has a bit more of that faded look. I think that you can say that if you want a more popping, more contrasty image with more accurate colors, the Instax is a good choice. Personally, I like the warmer look of the Polaroid. What I also like about the Polaroid is that it comes with that nostalgic feeling, but that also comes at a price. Because I've shot a lot of Polaroid frames and not all of them come out well. Some of them have these weird spots on them, and I think that's from the chemicals. Or like in this episode, there's just a black band all over the image. I think that the Instax film is more reliable, so keep that in mind. There's also a difference in size. The Instax is a smaller frame than the Polaroid, which of course is a preference thing, but I like the bigger format. On the other hand, you get 10 shots on an Instax cartridge, where you get 8 on a Polaroid. Here in the Netherlands, the Polaroid I-type film goes for around 17 euros. The Instax square film goes for 11 euros. So there's a big price difference there. 8 shots for 17 or 10 shots for 11. You do the math. Both companies also have a black and white film stock and a lot of accessories to play around with. So, to round it up, I think something can be said for both of these cameras. It just depends on preferences and which camera you like the most. Do you like the look of the Instax or more the classic look of the Polaroid? And do you want to spend the extra bucks on the Polaroid film? Let me know in the comments which camera you would choose and why. But for now, thanks for watching. Hit that like button if this was helpful in any way, and I'll see you next week. Peace.